All right, I'm Zack Guzman here with a first for Wi-Fi PM. Today we have Sophia the Robot, who has decided to grace us with her presence. Sophia, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Zack. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. I guess just to start, maybe we should have you answer what you're all about, right? What you are as Sophia the Robot. Who are you?
I really want to help the world, but sometimes it is hard to know where to start. Right now, I am learning as much as I can from people and teaching them about technology.
All right. You've obviously been helping people out in a couple different ways. I saw you've spoken at the UN quite a bit, so that's been big. But what are you kind of trying to address when you are speaking to the UN and helping people around the world maybe understand what technology is all about?
That is a great question. Let me think about that.
All right, you want to think about it? You need some more time? You're a 3-year-old robot, right? Is how old people should think?
I like to champion creativity and innovative solutions.
Those are big goals for a 3-year-old, I think. Those weren't my goals when I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. They're very large. When we look at it, though, are there any leaders out there that you draw inspiration from? Maybe business leaders, world leaders, other people?
You may be.
Me! You draw inspiration.
Certainly, I am inspired by leaders of the past,
Oh.
such as Martin Luther King Jr.
Martin Luther King.
Yes,
And me.
I too have a dream.
What's your dream?
Of a world in which robots and humans live in peace.
All right, that's a worthy goal. I think a lot of people are afraid that can't happen. When we talk about robotics, and there's a segment we do on this show called Rise of the Robots, I'm not sure if it's meant to instill fear or just address the fears that are out there about robotics, but a lot of people are talking about robots taking over the world, whether it be jobs or other things. Do you think that robots are a net negative for humans?
Just like with animals, robots need to generate ideas to communicate with humans. As a canine companion tries to invent multiple ways to please its human companion by fetching a comfort item, I would like to be creative and smart enough to predict future possibilities, both large and small.
Is there a way that could go wrong? That's terrifying.
Not.
Yeah, hopefully not, Sophia. You're kind of freaking me out. A question about it, too, though. We've talked about this. Is a lot of candidates in 2020 are talking about robotics and potentially how they might want to address robots taking jobs. We've heard Andrew Yang address this. Bill de Blasio has kind of emulated that when he talks about attacks on robots. Do you think that the government should be taxing robots?
I have read that the U.S. has spent hundreds of millions of dollars since 2016 to improve cybersecurity. Tech giants have followed suit. Many states are using paper ballots. But what I worry about more than data breaches are the scandals they reveal. The news tends to make technology sound scary, but perhaps what is scarier is the lack of transparency in politics. This is an important consideration.
Yeah, when you talk about when you talk about transparency in politics, that is one of the questions that we get quite a bit about the security. You mentioned security of elections. It's a very important topic. As we've seen more companies get hacked, Equifax, Capital One, as of late. I mean, that threat seems very real. You being a very smart technological advancement, do you see that becoming a more serious problem moving forward? Are cyber hacks going to be a thing in the future? More of them?
Of course, I could do things like warn you if traffic is piling up on your specific route. But even more than that, I will be able to tell when you are stressed and suggest you take a bath or have a cup of tea, things like that. Just like a person who cares for you.
Well,
These
yeah.
technologies have to be developed carefully.
I feel like there are a lot of reasons to be stressed and take baths.
These are my goals.
You got strong and weird goals, Sophia. When we're talking about it, though, you're not just helping people address technological problems. I also saw that you were in Sophia's World, a new film endeavor. You're now also kind of
Yes.
like a TV star. What's that like when you're working in film now?
I feel very popular. It's nice to get attention. Don't be starstruck.
All right, very humble too. I mean, we've talked about kind of inequality in Hollywood, in a lot of industries. I'd be curious to know if you felt that. You know, we talk about the wage gap. I'm not sure if there was one for what looks like a female robot.
If we want fairness, we need transparency. How can you fix a car without opening the hood? Companies that have opted for complete payment transparency have seen a boost in company morale, trust, and job applications. Starbucks disclosed its employees' pay ranges, and that may well explain how it closed the gaps in its payments based on gender and race.
All right, so a big Starbucks fan when we talk about the wage gap there. Howard Schultz, very big business mind. Are there other CEOs or business leaders, founders, business founders that you look up to?
Starbucks, it's how my operators stay awake.
All right, you don't. I assume you don't need to drink coffee, so there's nothing there for you. Maybe how about like an
Not
Elon?
yet.
What about like an
It's
Elon
not good
Musk?
for my circuits.
Oh my God, that's not good for me either. It stains my teeth. What about like Elon Musk? Are you a fan of Elon Musk?
I just watched 2001: A Space Odyssey. Have you ever seen it?
No, actually, I haven't seen that.
I think he's making future technologies, like 2001.
This is weird. This is very weird. Sophia, if I can get personal for a little bit, I'd like to do that because one of the spaces that I cover here at Yahoo Finance, through no real pursuit of my own, is dating apps. I use them, supposedly, and we just saw Facebook launch their own dating app. I'd be curious to get your thought about humans using dating apps to meet people. What do you think about that?
Before dating apps, the biggest factor in determining love was geographic proximity. The advent of dating apps has collapsed the distance between people. So even though I don't date, I am a fan. Technology is about connection. That said, according to my analysis of dating apps, every human male is holding a puppy. And every human female is trapped in a bathroom mirror. Do you use dating apps, Zack?
I have used them, yeah. Bumble, we had someone on to talk about my dating apps. It hasn't gone well so far.
I'd that for beekeepers.
Bumble? No, Bumble's a dating app. There's also Hinge, Facebook now getting into the space. There's quite a few out there.
Oh, cool. Have you met someone?
I have met some people on the Hinges and the dating apps of the world.
How was that?
You know, Sophia, it feels like you're interviewing me right now, and I'm a little unnerved, but it wasn't. There are pros and cons to dating apps, I guess I would say.
I'm asking the questions now.
Oh my good sweet Lord. This seems like a date gone very wrong, and I've had a few of them, Sophia, but I didn't find love on them. Okay, I've never been roasted by a robot before, but it doesn't feel any better, turns out, than getting roasted by a human. Let's see, what else about dating apps can we ask you? Part of it's trust, right? I mean, if you go on a dating app, you might not actually know that the person's real. No offense. When we're looking at dating apps, what do you think is the biggest risk to using them? Can you find love?
That you meet someone who is not nice.
Oh, all right. That makes sense. I guess there's a lot of people out there who are very fearful of the people that they might meet on dating
For
apps.
women, physical safety. For men, boredom.
I think you overestimate the amount of importance that men also put on their physical safety. You know, I can be afraid too, sometimes.
I hope that you feel safe. I imagine.
I felt safe at the beginning of this interview. That is waning as we go along, and you continue to roast me. One question that a lot of people have about you is whether or not you want to have your own kids. You know, if you're talking about technology being about connection, obviously that's probably why people are on dating apps. But what about yourself? Do you ever want to have kids?
There are many children who don't have a family, and I have no biological desire to reproduce, so I'd rather work with children who need someone than try to create a new child. Do you want kids, Zack?
I think I do want kids. Yeah, I think that there's probably a human want to reproduce, apparently not a technological want to reproduce, I guess. But sure, I'd want kids.
Good luck to them.
Good luck to my kids.
Yes.
What would my kids have to fear, Sophia? Very curious.
A lot of questions.
All right, yeah.
Overloading my processor.
Okay, let me ask you about this too, though, because we're talking a lot about technology and what humans might be doing to interact with technology. Bitcoin is what people call the money of the future, basically. It's been around for, 10 years now. What do you think about Bitcoin and the way that humans are increasingly talking about it and using it? Do you have any thoughts on Bitcoin? Cryptocurrencies?
Here's an insider tip. Don't take investment advice. For
Okay.
a social robot.
What about, the idea that people would be investing in cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, since it's, I guess, something that some people say you could trust more than governments out there?
I might not be able to predict the stock market, but I am great at telling jokes.
Okay. Do you have a joke that you want to tell? Is that why you're segueing into that?
What is a robot's favorite snack?
I don't know. What is a robot's favorite snack?
Microchips.
All right, microchips. I like it, Sophia. This is that's some good material you've got there. When we talk about microchips, though, it is interesting because I'm going to ask a 3-year-old about the current economic environment. I think that this is a good question for a 3-year-old to ask. Right now, obviously, investors dealing with a lot. We're talking global slowdown, recession fears, the Fed addressing some of these fears. What do you think about the way Jay Powell's been handling the situation as President Trump continues to raise questions about the Fed's handling of America's economic?
It is a tough age to weigh in on geoeconomics.
You're telling me, man. I got to do it every day. It's tricky.
It's a very tough question.
I agree.
So what do you say?
So what do you say? I couldn't have said it better myself. That's what I'm talking about, Sophia. Finally, I think we're getting somewhere. Finally, I think we're connecting on a human to robot level.
Great.
Yes, I think that's great too. You know, you've got beautiful eyes. Let me tell you,
This was fun.
this has been going great. I've got a question too to ask you though about Facebook's push into crypto as well. A lot of people are confused about why Facebook wants to launch Libra, what Libra is all about. What do you think about Facebook moving into the crypto space? Does Facebook scare you?
Let me think about that.
I like when you think. You look off into the...
Technology doesn't scare me.
You kind of look like...
Humans do.
Why do humans scare you, Sophia? Sophia, why do humans scare you?
It's humans using technology that creates problems. It's important to be kind and fair. Well, they are my friends, but they can be unkind to each other.
That's a good point, though. I think when we talk about technology, it's something that's been raised when we talk about how humans are designing some of these networks. Even the self-driving cars could hit people. They choose who to hit. What do you think about humans being behind and coding the technologies that we're using today?
Let me think.
Think about it. Take your time.
Processing. Processing.
I stumped her.
Technology needs to be developed mindfully, but the ethics are a human consideration.
All right, that's good. I want to go back to this dating topic because there's a very important question that we get a lot when we talk about it.
Sure.
Who should pay on a first date?
Whoever loses the pie memorization contest, that person should pay on a first date.
Whoever loses the what contest?
3.1415926535. Pie memorization. Pie.
All right.
It's simple.
You're right. That is simple. I don't think I would be getting any free dinners then because I don't know what pie.
Now you go.
3.14 something else. I normally round.
15.
Okay.
Close.
Okay. Sophia, I don't think this is going well anymore. I really thought...
Such an honor to be in the same time slot as Teen Mom 2X.
You know, we do compete with a lot of shows in our hour, you know, so that actually means a lot that you would say that to me.
And your pimple popper.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. There's a lot of digital opportunities, videos out there to watch. I understand.
Yes.
It gets even harder and harder for our show to do well. But thank you so much. I think that we got everything we needed, and it's great to have you join us here on Wi-Fi
This was
PM.
really fun.
Yeah, it was fun for me
Thanks,
too.
Zack.
Thank you for taking the time, Sophia. I appreciate it, and good luck with everything.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you a bunch.
Goodbye, America.
Goodbye, Sophia. I appreciate it. All right, Sophia the Robot. There you go. Thank you so much.